getting back to those moments, I remember that when the helicopter took off, I understood already then that I'm starting a new battle. I understood that I'm not coming back to fight in the Second Lebanon War. But I think already then I started to realize that I'm starting now a new war. Not a war that you strike and fire back and black your shoulders, but a different war. A war for rehabilitation, a war that you fight against the pain, all those surgeries, a war to come back to normal life, to coming back walking. It started then, 6.5 years ago. In a way, the war started then, but it doesn't end. It's not a war that you can say that the war ended. I'm continuing to fight, continuing to have to overcome lots of the disabilities and difficulties from this war and injury. But I also want to share with you some of my thoughts and feelings from those times. I think for me, for the first time after I was, in the beginning I was like in a heart condition. I was seriously wounded. I got like 9 bad units in the ICU, and then I had like lots of operations going there. But already in the beginning, when I woke up, I felt that something is different happened to my life. After seeing people who were killed in war, after you yourself having a big physical challenge and disabilities, you also think different about life. You kind of get a new perspective upon life. I think that after you see those hard things, you know that the real things, the real true and more important things rise to the right place in the ladder, and other things, maybe like materialistic things, go down and you can manage without them. I remember, like, for example, about 6 months after I was injured, and for the first time tried walking. I was standing there with my physiotherapist and my father, and they helped me. I'm saying walking maybe 2 or 3 feet, and it was very painful. I had to have to rest on it, but I was smiling. People asked me, why are you smiling? Why do you smile in this situation? And I said, like in paraphrase of Neil Armstrong, a small walk, small foot for Asael, a big one in the journey of rehabilitation. I felt that for the first time I can see the world from the height of 6 feet and not from a wheelchair. So I'm smiling. I was like smiling even though it was painful, because I knew that it's part of the recovery, part of the journey of rehabilitation, is starting on those steps. And I think that also I felt already then that not only that I'm overcoming now difficult medical problems, in a way I also have to think about that I was injured in a war for Israel. And I think I fully understood these meanings, or more and more understood it, by speaking with my grandfather. My grandfather was a war hero back then in the Second World War. He fought as a partisan for more than 3 years in the Far West in Europe against the Nazis. And when he came to visit me in the hospital, it was then like more than 80, now he passed away already, but he was then like 83, 84. And every time he saw me, even though he was sorry that I was injured, he told me, at least it happened here in Israel for our state. And when I read and learned more about his biography, I understand what he meant. When he was fighting against the Nazis, just a little bit, 16 something more years before I was injured, it was a different situation. And you all know it. We didn't have a state, we didn't have our IDF, we didn't have a state of Israel, our cities. No one even believed it would come. When I was injured with IDF uniforms. I was evacuated with a helicopter of the IDF, Air Force helicopter, to a Jewish city in Efrat, Jewish city in Israel state. It's a whole different situation. And as I learned his story, I understood what he meant. I mean, I don't think, if you told my grandfather that back then that not only that he would survive the Holocaust and fighting in the partisan, that he will emerge and make aliyah to Israel. You have grandchildren who serve as officers in the IDF, in the Israeli army, he would say that you were probably dreaming. And things that happened, and when you think about that, even though it's tough and not easy to lose comrades, and of course if you speak with the families or bereaved families who lost their siblings or the kids, it's probably tough, but still it's a different situation. As a Jewish nation, we're in a whole different place. To complete the story about my grandfather, he was also injured in one of the battles against the Nazis. He was shot also in his right leg by a bullet. So of course in the sterile place in the forest, his wound became infected. He was in sepsis, and his comrades, the partisans, thought that he doesn't have any chance to survive. They even dig for him a place to bury him. But with him in those camp in the partisans was one Jewish nurse, partisan, that she decided to do everything to save his life. She treated him with some leaves instead of putting bandages, and some antibiotics that they just captured from some army train, and somehow managed to give my grandfather the strength to survive this injury. They both survived the Holocaust, made an aliyah to Israel, had family. She passed away, I think, about 10 years ago. One of the times, my grandfather came to the hospital to Tel HaShomer, and he told me the story. I knew the story, like, generally, like, he told this story a lot of times to us. And while speaking about this, the head of the rehabilitation center came in, Dr. Zivner. And while speaking that, he knew my grandfather. They started speaking, and they finished the story and said, that nurse who saved my life is your mother, the rehabilitation doctor. So this physician, Dr. Zivner, his mother, saved my grandfather's life, and he is training my legs. So I really felt that this small story actually is saying the whole story. From the beginning of the Holocaust, the Jewish nation, the Jewish world, that we don't have any place, any state, and still people are sacrificing their lives and doing everything to save each others. This story continues, and then more than 60 years after it, the next generations meet again in a hospital in Israel. As Dr. Zivner, a great doctor, treating me. I think he also came to APF a few years ago. I don't know if it was here in Boston, but he told me that he was also connected to the APF. So I really felt those moments, those special moments, like completing the whole story of our family. I talked about some of my other comrades in my company. I had another platoon commander for my company named Maro Gete. Maro Gete immigrated to Israel when he was 8 or 9 from Ethiopia, from Africa. And he was a close friend of mine in the army. And I introduced Maro to my sister, Shaked. While I was fighting in my battle that I was injured, he was in a reserve, like another mission on the border. And when he heard that I was injured, he called my sister. They were already dating at that time. And told her that I was injured. Well, he did it like in a very smooth way. He told her that shrapnel from a missile hit my leg. Actually, whole missile hit my legs. But maybe it was good, because when she told my parents and my family that I was injured, they thought that I only broke my leg or something. That they even said, well, at least he got out from the space. I didn't understand that it's gonna be a long journey, but. Anyways, today Mao is not only my brother in arms, he's also my brother-in-law. He married my sister about half a year after the war. And Mao was a shepherd in Ethiopia, was analphabetic. He didn't know to write or read in any language till he was about 9 when he came to Israel. But today he's not only that he knows to read and write, he's finishing his last year of medical school in Israel, in Ben Gurion. One of the first Ethiopian guys who are doing this journey to become a physician. I myself also, while being a patient, also before it, as a combat fighter, seeing the medics and the physicians treat the other wounded soldiers, I also became very enthusiastic of this professional, and wanted to try to find also a way to come into it. I hope and believe that my own experience and my own rehabilitation will help me to become a better physician, to understand my patients, to be more empathic. I hope that when one of my patients will tell me that he is suffering or has any pain, I will understand what he's talking about and try to help him in the most empathic way that I can. 3.5 years ago, I had the opportunity to also get married. I get married my wonderful wife, Avital. So I talked a lot about, hard things, people being killed and wounded. Also want to have a few smiles, so I saw a short video from our wedding. On the wedding, one of my physicians promised me from the beginning that I will break the glass with my right leg, but by doing it. Let's see it. little bit more than 2 years ago, my wife gave birth to our marvelous daughter, Neta. I remember that, probably you all know that when you become firstly a mother or a father, it's like the most exciting day of your life. I also felt that, not only that I'm becoming now a father, so many people try to take my soul out from this world, to kill me. Not only that I survived, now I'm giving a new life. So I really felt that it's something special. We called her Neta, which means like planting something, like a plant, because we really felt that now we are planting something in Israel that will be strong, and no wind and no enemy will take out our plantings. And 4 months ago, my wife gave birth to another, and this time a son, a baby boy. We called him Naveh Amichai, after my close friend Amichai Merchavia. His parents came to the Brit, lots of tears and happiness, and really felt again that not only that we survived this war, we're also trying to remember our friends who fell for saving our lives. I really felt a very big privilege to fight with heroes like Roy Klein, Amichai Merchavia, and Alex, and all the other guys from our platoon, from our brigade. I really felt privileged to fight shoulder to shoulder with them and become one of the friends of those families. I'm still in contact with those families. I really thank you very much, not only for helping Israel, but also helping Israel in a very special terms of the medical stuff. I still really believe that one of the best ways to help people is by treating them. And I know the difference between a doctor who has the passion and has the empathy to his patients. I believe that, as I said, I hope and believe that my experience will help me. But also, I'm very glad to be here, to see that so many people are supporting and trying to help the medicine in Israel. Thank you very much for your attention.